You know, it's really an incredible. I mean, he died with $8,000. You know, that's all he had. He cut his salary in half in 1934 when he became mayor. He was a man of great integrity and never did anything. Never. I mean, he was beyond corruption. The things that he did in the when he was a congressman for 7 terms, and in that time he was responsible for unemployment insurance, the 5-day 40-hour work week, bank deposits guaranteed, the Securities and Stock Exchange Regulation Bill. I mean, everything you could possibly think of. While President Roosevelt was governor then, when Roosevelt became president in 1934, he adopted everything that LaGuardia was talking about in the Senate, and it became known as the New Deal. So LaGuardia was responsible for a great many things that we don't even know about. Pat mentioned that he read the comics and that we know the airport. You know, most people think of him as a comic character, which he was. But he got things done in spite of his size, in spite of his rotundness, and so on and so forth. And he was he kept 6 or 7 secretaries hopping. You know, he had his mind was like crazy. He had so many things going at one time. There was no time. He was a 12-year mayor, and in that time, he built every bridge and tunnel along with Moses that we take for granted. He built the West Side Highway, the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, the Queens Midtown Tunnel, the Reese Park Bridge in Queens, the Queens Midtown Tunnel. I mean, you can go on and on and then on. It's just the Grand Central Parkway. Everything that we just take for granted, he did. So
did you know he raised Joey Adams?
Yes, he did. As a matter of fact,
yeah. Joey Adams lived with him.
Joey Adams.
He raised Joey Adams. You know,
that's
Joey
right.
Adams, the comedian for all the years. He raised him.
Yeah, Joey Adams, Cindy Adams' husband. You know, he was a big friar, Joey. As a matter of fact, but you know, when LaGuardia was campaigning, Joey Adams, this kid, this big on the corner, he used to be hollering, you know, mimicking LaGuardia and going on about politics. And he said, "Come here, son. Come with me. You're going to be my assistant." He took Joey Adams into his office, and he sat him there, and people would be coming in. And in fact, at one time, when some congressman or senator was coming in to lobby LaGuardia for what he wanted him to do, he said to him, "Well, here's a list of the things we would like you to appoint, and this person and that person, and so on and so forth." And Joey Adams was standing there listening to this, and LaGuardia said, "Well, okay, well, certainly, yeah, fine." And he left. This guy left. And Joey Adams said, "I thought you were honest. I thought you would not let anybody do that." He said, "Son, first you get elected." He said, "First you get elected." And he never did any of those things that was on the paper, you know, but he said, "First you get elected." Another time, and another time when Joey Adams was having a very rough time in a club act, he was a failure that night, and it was Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve, and LaGuardia came to the show with a bunch of people with a whole load of presents and turkeys, as he said, and Joey Adams tells the story, and all kinds of gifts, and he said to him, "You know, why he said, you shouldn't be depressed." He said, here's a line I use in the play too, and I use it to my children. It's he said to him, "Don't worry about people knowing you. Make yourself worth knowing." It's a big that's a big line, you know. Make yourself worth knowing.
But you've been doing that how many years?
I first did the show in I think it was 82.
What about a movie?
Years ago. We did it for TV for WNET, and it won.
Did they make a movie?
We did 5 Emmys. Got 5 Emmys for TV.
No, did they make a movie?
No, I haven't done a movie. But
why don't they do his life story? This guy's such a great man.
As a matter, I've been approached by 2 people. As a matter of fact, since I did the show here and to do it. So I want to do it. I want to do a CD of it and maybe
Those
make
are
a
the kind
movie
of
too.
things that young people should know about
Absolutely,
their country.
and that's what I was so thrilled about, because in this show I did 30 performances, October, November, December, 10 at the clip, and people would come back to see it again and bring their 18-year-old kids and 20-year-old kids to see it, to give them an example of what to live up to. And that was just thrilling for me. I mean,
You do a one-man show?
Yeah, it's a one-man show.
Why don't you do it around the country?
I want to do that. In fact, I want to go to colleges. Somebody's talking about doing it in Florida and so on. As you mentioned, Italy would be a fabulous place for it. And
Al Holbrook's been doing, what's his name?
Mark Twain.
Mark Twain.
Yeah, for years, yeah.
They can remember Mark Twain. I'm sure they remember LaGuardia.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Well, of course, in Florida, they would respond to it because a lot of New Yorkers down there, and a lot of Jewish people down there too.
They're all mostly from the East Coast. They know about LaGuardia right off the bat.
Absolutely.
So I was fortunate to live in a little bit of his life, and he was outstanding. He was out there. You always knew he was out there. He was there watching the city.
All right.
And very charismatic. Mm-hmm. And I don't think we've ever had a mayor as good.
Yeah.
We've had some good mayors, but not as good.
Yeah.
See, like Bloomberg's a good mayor, but he's very low key.
Yeah.
I don't know the rest of the guys.
Mike came to the show opening night. Mr. Bloomberg came to the show opening night, and he said to me, "This is wonderful. Now I know what to do." Now I do.
Bloomberg, now he wants to go.
He's a good guy. Yeah, he should.
Just gave $250 million to charity.
It's unbelievable.
Now here he's telling the budget he needs more money for the budget. Give us your $250 million.
Hey.
How are they giving it to charity for? I could never understand that. He says, and he says we have to cut this, cut that, cut this, and he gives $250 million. So I don't understand it. That's his money. I'm sure he can do whatever he wants to. But why would a man or billionaire want to be mayor again? Why would he want to be in politics? I can never understand that.
He's got integrity.
But I guess, people say, why you want to be in comedy?
Yeah, sure.
But that's great. You did a great, but you've got to do something beside that.
Well, I'm working
some of the movies you
I'm working on a comedy act.
Why not?
No.
What's some of the movies you
French Connection, of course.
Yeah.
I was fortunate. The movie before that, I was very fortunate to do, which called The Honeymoon Killers, which is my first film, and it's become a cult classic. And it was Francois Truffaut's favorite film, so it was really.
What's my favorite film?
Francois Truffaut.
Really?
Yeah, great director.
You remind me of Richard Conte.
Oh yeah, I was told that.
Remember the actor Richard Conte?
Sure. As a matter of fact, it's funny. I got cast in a movie called Mafia. God forbid, give me. And it was the Richard Conte role, which was a spoof on The Godfather. But the director had to have me because in his mind, I was that guy.
But you stepped out of that. You didn't get stuck with us doing gangster movies.
No.
That's why then you got into the LaGuardia thing, which I think I think you could work that forever. I think, why don't Homebox give you a special to do that? That would be interesting. No disrespect for some of the toilet comics I can put on, but you have something to say.
Yeah.
And I think, again, if you did it in theaters, if you did a Westbury, you did that, even if it's afternoon shows, it's such a nice thing because everybody's going out doing a one-man